Good evening. Welcome to 7th video lesson of 3rd chapter current electricity. Yesterday we have completed the combination of cells in series and cells in parallel. We have derived expressions for equivalent EMF when cells are in series and equivalent EMF when cells are in parallel. After that we started Kirchhoff's laws. We have defined first law and second law. First law is known as law of current. Law of currents are also junction rule, which states that the algebraic sum of all the currents at a junction point in a closed circuit is equal to 0. And it follows the law of conservation of charge principle. Second law is also known as the law of voltages or the loop rule, which states that in a closed circuit, the algebraic sum of EMFs of all the cells and potential differences across all the resistors is equal to 0. So this second law is basically works on the principle of conservation of energy, because it is law of voltages. Voltage is nothing but what? Energy only. So conservation of energy principle is applicable to second law, that is law of voltages. While applying the second law to a closed loop, we have adopted some conventions that is discussed in the last video. That is, if you are traversing a loop, traversing means you are moving from one point to other point in a closed loop. So when you are traversing in a loop, if you happen to see the positive terminal of a cell, then its EMF should be taken as a negative. So why it is to be negative means, yesterday we have shown the direction of EMF of a cell. This is cell of EMF E plus minus. So this is the direction of EMF. So EMF in a cell is increasing from negative to positive. That means it is decreasing from positive to negative. I repeat, the EMF of a cell as shown in the diagram is increasing from negative to positive. You are going from low potential to high potential. But when you go like this, you happen to see the positive terminal of the cell first, then you are moving from high to low potential. Therefore, the EMF of the cell is to be taken as a negative. Otherwise, if you happen to see the positive terminal of the cell first, negative terminal of the cell first, then its EMF should be taken what? Positive. I repeat, while traversing a loop, if you happen to see the positive terminal of a cell, its EMF should be taken negative. Otherwise, that means if you happen to see the negative terminal of the cell first, then its EMF is to be taken as a positive. So this is about EMF convention. Then coming to the convention of potential difference across a resistor, you are traversing the loop from one point to other point, and the current is flowing exactly in the opposite direction to your direction of traversing. Then you know that current will flow from always higher potential to lower potential. Okay, so now you are moving from lower potential to higher potential when you are traveling in the opposite direction to current. So therefore, the potential difference across that resistor should be taken as positive. If you happen to move in the same direction as that of the flow of current, then the potential difference across that resistor should be taken negative. Okay, so keeping these conventions in mind, let us apply Kirchhoff's junction rule and Kirchhoff's loop rule to solve the electrical networks. Right. So we have one numerical in the textbook, that is, here you have a 30 ohm resistor which is connected like this with a 40 ohm resistor, and here ohm resistor, and now there is another resistor of 1 ohm, which is nothing but the internal resistance of this cell, where the cell is having 45 volt and connected like this. So this is 45 volt. Let us close this, and in other loop there is one more cell whose EMF is 80 volt, and it also has internal resistance of 1 ohm, and this is connected to a 20 ohm resistor like this. So 1 ohm, 20 ohm, 1 ohm, 20 ohm, 1 ohm, 40 ohm and 30 ohm, right. So what is expected to be done in this question is, you may be asked to calculate the current in each branch. How many branches are there? Here is one, here is one, here is one. So how much current will flow in 30 ohm resistor? How much current will flow in 41 ohm resistor? Together, because they are in series. How much current will flow in 21 ohm resistor? So nothing is given to us. Then we are free to choose the directions of current as we wish. If already current directions are given, follow the Kirchhoff's rule in order to divide or add the currents at a junction point. Right. Now, according to my convenience, I will take here the minus plus. You know, this is the direction of EMF of a cell. So this is plus, this is minus. Okay. So this will drive a current in this direction. So this is like this. Remember, children, from this point to this point, there is only one source of energy. Therefore, this entire branch will have the same current. If I consider this as my first cell, then I can name it as current I1. So here how much current should be there? Here also there will be I1. Here how much current should be there? Here also there will be I1. And here also there will be I1 current. Okay, right. Now, come to the second cell, which is having 45 volt. So this is plus, this is minus. We discussed many times that current should come away from positive terminal. So this is current, it is coming out from this cell. Is it clear? Now, let me name this current as I2. It's my freedom. I am at liberty to name the currents I2. So this current will flow here, this current will flow here, it will come here. Okay, right. Now, what is this amount of current? I2. So here how much current should be there? I2. Because this entire branch should carry the same current. Fine. Now, here is a junction point. Here is another junction point. Let me name this as A, and this is what? B. This point for me is C. This is D. Say this is E, and this is F. You can name them as you wish. There is no need that you should follow only this order. You can follow any order. Fine. Now, children, if you see at junction point C, there is one current that is approaching, which is I1, and there is another current which is leaving, that is I2. I also can say in other words that this from I1 current, a I2 current is going towards left, the remaining current I1 minus I2 will go here. Example, suppose this is a 5 ampere current, this is a 5 ampere current I1. Suppose 2 ampere current is going over here, then remaining current 3 ampere should go here. So that we will write in terms of these currents I1, I2 like this. So I1 current is approaching, I2 is leaving, I1 minus I2 is also leaving. When you add these two currents, you should get the same current. So I2 plus I1 minus I2, you know that I2 gets cancelled, you will get what? I1. So this current I1 minus I2 will flow here. This will come here, this will come here, I1 minus I2. So what is the current coming over here? I2 current is coming to the junction point. And there is another current coming to the junction point D. I repeat, there are two currents that are approaching to junction point D. One current is I2, other current is I1 minus I2. Sum of the currents entering a junction point should be equal to sum of the currents leaving the junction point. Only one current is leaving, that is I1. So when you add these two currents, you should get this current I1. So therefore, let me see, I1 minus I2 plus I2. So I2 gets cancelled, I will get what? I1. So therefore, I am successful in applying Kirchhoff's junction rule to the circuit. Okay, so this is how the first step would be. Fine. Now how many currents are there? Only two currents are there. What are they? One is I1 minus I2. Okay, one is I1, other is I2. If you are able to find out I1 and I2, you can easily find out I1 minus I2. Okay, so therefore there are two unknown quantities here. Remaining everything is what known to you. Only I1 you do not know, I2 you do not know. When there are two unknown things, how many simultaneous equations you require? Only two simultaneous equations you require. So therefore, how do you obtain those simultaneous equations? By applying Kirchhoff's loop rule or Kirchhoff's law of voltages. While applying Kirchhoff's law of voltages, you should recall the sign convention. That is, when you are traversing a loop, if you happen to positive terminal of a cell, take its EMF negative. If you see the negative terminal, take its EMF positive. Okay, now let me take this loop. Which one? Closed loop A, B, C, D, A. The point where I have begun my journey, I should end at the same point, then only I can call it as a closed loop. Fine. So first I should move from A to B. I am moving from A to B. So there is no cell. So there is no question of EMF. So there is only one resistor. How much? 30 ohm. What is the potential difference? Potential difference formula is what? V equals to IR. Current flowing in this resistor and the resistance value of this particular one. So what is the current here? I1 minus I2 is the current. What is its resistance? Into R. That is nothing but what? 30. Now I should decide whether it is going to be positive potential difference or negative potential difference. Now we adopt the sign convention. Current is going from B to A. As per this diagram, current is going from B to A. Current flows always from high potential to low potential. I repeat, current always flows from high potential to low potential. Therefore, potential at point B must be greater than potential at point A. I repeat, potential at point B must be greater than potential at point A as per this diagram. Whether it is correct or not, we will say at the end. Okay, so right. So now this is a low potential point and this is a high potential point. You are moving from A to B. You are moving from low to high potential. You are moving from low to high potential. Therefore, the potential difference across this should be positive. So this is plus. Even in the examination also, you put like this. Examiner will understand that you are adopting the sign convention. Fine. So A to B is over. Now you have to go from B to C. B to C, there is no cell, there is no resistance, so there is no calculation. Then where to go? C to D. From C, you have to traverse towards what? D. Right. While going from C to D, you are coming across a cell of 45 volt and you are seeing the negative terminal of the cell. So you are going from, this is the direction of EMF of this cell. So it increases from negative to positive. So you are moving in a direction of increasing EMF. Therefore, the EMF across this will become plus 45 volt. Sir, is it to be multiplied with resistance? No. Potential difference and EMF both will have the same unit and same dimension. This is measured in volt. This entire thing will have the unit of volt. This entire thing will have the unit of volt. So therefore, EMF will not be multiplied by anything. Algebraic sum of EMFs. So EMF should be taken as it is. So this is, in other words, we say that if you happen to see the negative terminal of a cell first, then take its EMF positive. So you are seeing now first EMF, negative terminal of the cell. So it is 45 plus. Is it clear? Sir, afterwards we will see the positive. Afterwards you will see the positive. But which you are seeing at the beginning is very important. Fine. So cell is over. Then you are coming across what? This resistor. How much current is flowing in this? I2 current is flowing. Okay. So here, so let me begin with this plus only. V equal, the potential difference across this 1 ohm. The potential difference across this 1 ohm is V equals to IR. IR, I2 into R is how much? 1 ohm. Is it positive or negative? Now, you see, you are moving from C to D. That means potential at point C should be greater than potential at point D. I repeat, potential at point C should be greater than potential at point D. So this is a high potential point and this is a low potential point. So therefore you are moving towards a low potential, so therefore the sign should be negative. So this is what we stated. If you are traveling in the same direction of the current, the potential difference across the resistor will be what? Negative. Fine. Now after that you are coming across 40. Okay. So plus, I will begin with plus. I do not know. I will apply later. Fine. Now V equals IR. The potential difference across this resistor is current flowing in it multiplied by its resistance. Current multiplied I2 into resistance 40. Positive or negative, now I will decide. Now you are going from this point to this point. That means high potential to low potential. So therefore this will be a negative. Okay, right. You have come to point D now. Then point D to where you should go? You have to go to point A. Any cell is there? No. Any resistor is there? No. There is no EMF, there is no potential. This is called the algebraic sum of EMFs. The algebraic sum of EMFs, 45. Only one cell is there luckily, so only one we have taken. The algebraic sum of EMFs and potential differences of a closed circuit must be equal to 0. Okay, so let me simplify this. This will be 30I1 minus 30I2 plus 45 minus I2 minus 40I2 is equal to 0. Okay, so any I1s are there? Only one I1 is there. So this is 30I1. How many I2s are there? Minus 30I2 minus I2 minus 31 minus 31 minus 40 minus 71. So minus 71 I2 plus 45 equals to 0. Just please verify this whether I am doing correct or not. 30 plus 40 70 71. Okay, right. Now so you can take this 45 EMF that side, okay, or you take this entire thing that side, then you will get 71 I2 minus 30 I1 equals to 45. Equation 1. Clear? Okay, right. Now in the examination, it is Kirchhoff's laws application are very, very important. Every year a small or big question will be placed on this Kirchhoff's laws concepts. So only one equation I could set up now. So I have two unknown quantities I1 and I2. I require another simultaneous equation. For that I take this loop so that I could cover the entire circuit. This part, first part is covered already. Now I am going to cover the second part. So closed loop D C DC F E D, like this. Put arrow on the top, means you should move D to C, C to F, F to E and E to D. Right. Now I am going from D to C. Okay. So current is going from C to D. So this is moving from low potential to, I am moving from low potential to high potential. Okay. Therefore, when I am moving from towards high potential, the potential difference will become positive. So this will be 40 into I2 plus only. Next, this one, I2 into 1. Then I am seeing the positive terminal of the cell first. So it's minus 45. Minus 45. I have come here. So there is nothing. Now I am going down. I am going down. Now you see, when you are going down, your current is moving from F to C. Your current is going from F to C, but you are going from C to F. Because you opted like this, C to F jana hai. So you are going from C to F. Current is going from F to C, means F must be at higher potential than point C. Clear? F must be at higher potential than at point C. For these 2 points it is high potential, but for these 2 points relatively this is a lower potential. So now this is a low value and this is a high value. So you are going from C to F. So you are moving from low voltage to high voltage. The potential difference across these should be taken what? Positive. So plus 20 I1 plus 20 I1. Then you come here from F. Where do you go? E. F to E. While going from F to E, this is high. Okay. Now current is going from E to F. Current is going from E to F. That means E should be at high potential relatively than F. So F will be a low potential for these two pairs. Okay. So now you are moving from F to E, F to E. So you are moving from low to high voltage. Therefore, the potential difference across this 1 ohm should be positive. So this is plus I1 into 1 ohm. Fine. After this, you are coming towards the cell and you happen to see the positive terminal of the cell first. So its EMF should be what? Negative. So minus 80 volt. Okay. Then E to D, you are going, nothing is there. So the algebraic sum of EMFs and potential differences must be equal to 0. Clear? How many EMFs are there in the circuit? In this equation, here is 1, here is 1. So both of them happen to be what? Negative. So algebraic sum means that only. If it is positive, take it positive. If it is negative, take it negative. So let me simplify this. 40 I2 plus I2 plus 20 I1 plus I1 minus 45 minus 80 minus 125 equals to 0. So I2 is how many? 1, 2. So 41 I2. Okay. Then I1 is how many? 20 I1 plus I1 plus 21 I1 equals to 125. Equation 2. Over. No need of going for any third loop because we have divided the currents here like this so that our burden of setting up the equation should be minimum. You can name it as I3. Then again I3 ke liye you can write I1 plus I2. Fine. Okay, don't worry about that. So you have two equations. 71 I2 minus 30 I1 equals to 45. 41 I2 plus 21 I1 equals to 125. How to solve this equation? Okay. You multiply this. You eliminate one of first I2. Then you obtain I1. 71 should be multiplied by 41. 41 should be multiplied by 71. So this in solving this one, 1 multiplied by 41 equals gives rise to 71 into 41. 71 into 41. So this is 1, 7. Okay. Two nine one one. So this 2911 I2 minus 41 से मल्टीप्लाई करना 4 1 जा 3 1 123 0 I1 equals to 45 into 41. So 45 into 41 is 45. This is 4 5 are 20, 4 4 16, 16 plus 2 18. So 1845. So this equals to 1845. Very big numbers. Now 2 should be multiplied by 71. This gives rise to 2911 I2 because the same thing it will go. Fine. Now 21 multiplied by 71. This is 21 only, no? So 71 multiplied by 21 is 71. 2 14. So 1 9 1491. So what is this, plus or minus? Plus. 1491 I1 equals to, this is 125 into 21. 125 into 21, 125, and this will be 250. So this is 5 2 6 2625. Right. So subtract these equations. This will be cancelled. Okay, and this will be minus. Okay, so this also will be what? Minus, because you are subtracting. This will be minus. So you have now I1 value. Once you get I1 value from this, you can substitute in any one of the equations given here, either in 1 or in 2. So put I1 in 1 or 2, then you will get I2. Once you get I2, then you will have I1 minus I2 equals to this. Is it clear? So though the numbers are very big, but the simplification will be easy only. Okay, right. So this is one of the direct applications of Kirchhoff's laws. Okay, questions can be asked like this. Fine. So I hope this is clear to you. I already discussed this in the PowerPoint presentation when videos were not working. Okay, so now you practice more and more questions on the basis of this type of numericals. Right. There is another example in the textbook that you have a cube. It's a cube, 4 wires. Each wire is having a length here, square only there is. Now we make a cube, right? So to make it as a cube, like this. So everything will have same resistance. This is R, this is also R, this is also R, this is also R, this is R, entire thing is R, this entire thing is R, this entire thing is R, this is R, this is also R, this entire thing is R, and this is R, and this is R. So how many are there? 12. All 12 are there. Now here there is a battery. Okay, leave it. Now I just generalize it, then if you know the R value, you can substitute. Okay, right. Now this is point A and this is diagonally opposite point what B. So cube is made up of twelve resistors of equal resistance R each. What is the net resistance between the two diagonally opposite points A and B? Right. So whenever you want to calculate the net resistance between, okay, you tell me how many number of calculations I can make for this cube. I can calculate the net resistance between A and B. I can calculate net resistance between, okay, let me name it as A, B, C, this is D, okay, this, there is no junction here, here is E, and here there is no junction, this wire is just behind the vertical wire, so, but here is a junction, E over this F, and these two are joining here, and this is G, and here is another junction, H. Any other junction? That's all. Okay. So I can calculate net resistance between A and D. I also can calculate net resistance between A and F. I also can calculate net resistance between F and G. I calculate net resistance between G and B. I can calculate net resistance B and C. I also can calculate net resistance between A and B, where A and B are diagonally opposite. So between whichever points you would like to calculate net resistance, remember children, you imagine that you are connecting a battery between those 2 points. I repeat, whichever the 2 points between which you like to calculate the net resistance or you are asked to calculate the net resistance, you are at your liberty to connect a battery between those 2 points. Why battery, sir? Battery will help you to determine the directions of current. So now between A and B, what I do, I connect a battery. If I am asked to calculate between A and D, then my battery point should shift over here. From B, I should connect it to D. Right. The plus, minus, here there is a current I coming out of this battery. So this point I will write here down. So this is I. Now, look at the symmetry of this diagram, children. So here is the current now after reaching this junction point A, it will find 3 ways immediately to get divided. One way is AD, other is AE, this is E, other is AF. After that, the current coming to E will divide into 2. Current coming to E will divide into 2, here and here. The current coming to junction point D again will divide into 2, like this DC and in DH. The current coming to F also will divide into 2, this is FH and FG. So we have now symmetry. So currents are equally divided. Therefore, if this is current I can write this current as I by 3. This current is also I by 3. And this current also I by 3. Now this I by 3 current after reaching over here, it will divide into 2 again. One current is I by 6, the other current is again I by 6. Because I by 6 and I by 6, okay, here I will write I by 6. I by 6, there is no junction here. This horizontal wire is behind the vertical wire. It's not a junction. Okay, so currents will not join at this point. Rather, I can show you like this. Like this. It is like this. Loop. Right. So I by 6 and I by 6. So similarly, this one, here it will be I by 6. Here also I by 6. And this current here, this is I by 6. And this is I by 6. You see the beauty, children. This I by 6 will come to G. This I by 6 will come to G. Both are will club to form I by 3. Similarly, this I by 6, this I by 6 will come out to be I by 3. And here this I by 6 and this I by 6 will come out to be I by 3. So I by 3, I by 3, I by 3, all of them are joining at this junction. This is I. So this is Kirchhoff's junction rule. Now I apply Kirchhoff's voltage rule. I take this A